We have a ton of WWE news, rumors, headlines, speculation, and gossip to give to you. A lot of theories out there. And ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any of your time. Remember to sign up to become a channel member today. Click the bell, subscribe, turn on all notifications because this is your ultimate place, your reigning home for all WWE talk in real time around the damn clock. Tick tock, tick tock. Here we go. Let's get in to the details of the show and what is to be a star-studded, impactful show. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, as it concerns cancer and a top name in the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, it was on May the 15th that WWE Hall of Famer and current AEW commentator, good old JR Jim Ross, announced the following. Diagnosed this week with colon surgery. Surgery being scheduled in the next week or two. I appreciate concern and support. Good old JR underwent surgery this morning, and it was a success, according to those in the know. Here is what Conrad Thompson had to say. Just heard from JR, and the surgery went well, and they hope to have successfully removed all of his cancer this morning. Please keep JR in your thoughts and prayers as he begins his recovery. In 2021, good old JR was diagnosed with skin cancer, and he successfully beat it. And now the feeling is that he could hopefully defeat this one as well. On his podcast, JR noted that he doesn't plan on retiring and wants to call the AEW All In Texas pay-per-view on July the 12th. Also, we got massive announcements coming out of the WWE and AEW this afternoon. AEW will have their biggest pay-per-view of 2025. It's like their WrestleMania in my state, from what I'm remembering and what I reckon. All in Texas, July the 12th. WWE also booked a Saturday night's main event special on the same date. To avoid going head-to-head with WWE, AEW gave the All In a special start time of 3 p.m. But oh, no, it doesn't end there because you see, the struggle is real. However, WWE has just announced that NXT, the Great American Bash PLE, will take place on the same date as well, and it will take place during the afternoon, thus going head-to-head with AEW All In. WWE has been counter-programming AEW's pay-per-views a lot as of late. The AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view this past Sunday went head-to-head against WWE NXT Battleground PLE. During the post-Double or Nothing media scrum, AEW President Tony Khan was asked about WWE's counter-programming tactics, and here's what Khan said. It's pretty consistent. I'd say it's the most consistent event head-to-head scheduling I've seen since Jim Crockett Promotions. I saw a lot of scheduling that went that way, and I can tell you this will go a lot differently than that did. So again, viewers and fans and subscribers, your thoughts and your comments on all of that, because this show is all about you. Guys, a match of death in the world of professional wrestling that is definitely being felt. It is having a ripple effect. According to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters, it would appear as if somebody that has a big thing to do, a big deal to do with the red and yellow, brother. Hulkamania running wild, brother. The death, the passing of the Hulk Hogan theme song. Rick Derringer, the singer of Hulk Hogan's Real American theme song, has passed away. The legendary guitarist, singer, and producer has passed away at the age of 77 years old. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. One of Derringer's most enduring contributions to pop culture was the song Real American, which he co-wrote and performed. Originally was released in 1985. It should be noted that Real American was originally used in the WWF by the U.S. Express, Mike Rotundo, and Barry Windham. We got some bad news concerning WrestleMania. Almost sounds like bad news, Barry. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. According to the dirt sheets and the websites, there's a whole new report coming out right now. Despite ongoing discussions between WWE and London officials, the prospect of WrestleMania being held in the UK faces very significant hurdles. So I know I got some fans that watch my show from the UK. I know I got some fans that are out of the country in different states, different cities, not my neck of the woods, and that's fine. I want people from all over the place to gather and interact and comment on this very show, because if it weren't for you, there would be no Seanzviewent. According to Fightful Select, the WWE is unlikely to host WrestleMania in London in the near future, primarily due to the absence of substantial site fee offers from the city. And again, the WWE is always about the cash, the bottom dollar. The WWE is all about that money in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, who is leaving AEW? Are they coming to the WWE? Well, ladies and gentlemen, according to an all-new report online, remember to like, comment, and interact and donate below with a super thanks donation by using your credit card or become a channel member today. Despite early reports suggesting that AEW's Hook, the son of Taz, might explore free agency soon, might come to the WWE sooner rather than later. Might explore free agency. The expiration of his AEW contract, recent developments indicate that he will remain with All Elite Wrestling for the foreseeable future. But, as they always say in the wrestling business, never say never. Would you want to see Hook in the WWE? Backstage news on whether WWE is planning a turn for Survivor Series to turn it into a two-night extravaganza. As of now, as of press time, we already know Royal Rumble is a one-night event right now, but WrestleMania and SummerSlam are going to be two-night events. WrestleMania already being a two-night event, and then that transforming into SummerSlam. As of now, according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters, there was discussions that are still heavy and in the early stages, and no definitive plans have been made. However, conversely, the WWE has considered the possibility of turning the Royal Rumble into a two-night event. Fightful reports that the internal discussions have taken place about the potential change. One proposed format involves hosting the men's Royal Rumble match on one night and then the women's on the other night. However, as concerns the Survivor Series, and I always say this, I've been saying this for the better part of the last 5 to 10 years, WWE needs to go back to the format. They need to go back to tradition. They need to go back to the team formality. 4-on-4, 5-on-5, the traditional Survivor Series elimination matches. The WWE needs to go back to what brought Survivor Series to the dance. Ultimately, that's how I would go about it. But Survivor Series 2025, currently no current plans, to expand Survivor Series into a two-night event according to Fightful Select. Would you want to see Survivor Series become a two-night event? Now, if it were me, I would only have WrestleMania be a two-night event because then you're talking about SummerSlam. Then you're talking about the Royal Rumble, and it gets to be too much. It gets to be overexposure. It gets to be too much money. I mean, look at the prices of the ticket sales. Look at the skyrocketing of the enormous price of the ticket sales that is the WWE. And when they say ticket sale, where's the sale? I remember at one point, it was a while back, probably the early 2000s, you could get 2 tickets for $40. Front row. 2 tickets, front row, $40, maybe $50. At most, $75. And now look at what happened. Look at what has transpired right before our very eyes. It is sick. It is sinister. It is repulsive. The lengths and the levels that the WWE is going to with their ticket prices. But yet, there must be a lot of rich people because night after night, Raw after Raw, SmackDown after SmackDown, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, the WWE sells it out. I don't know how they do it, but they're doing it. The WWE is finding a way to sell these damn tickets. Your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback on that. Also coming out of the brash and the brazen, John Cena, guys. We got breaking news on whether or not John Cena will work a TNA show before retiring. Despite speculation, undisputed WWE champion John Cena will not participate in any TNA events during his 2025 retirement tour, although plans could change. It could be a shock. It could be a surprise. Because why would the WWE announce that, John Cena's going to TNA? Why would the WWE announce that? They would want it to be a shock. They would want it to be a surprise. They would want it to be like a think outside the box mentality. So, I could see where the WWE is coming from at that stage of the game. But ladies and gentlemen, that certainly is not all. Because the collaboration between WWE and TNA allows talent exchanges, particularly involving WWE's NXT brand. However, John Cena's schedule remains dedicated to the WWE with no plans to appear in TNA. But again, that can always change. Also, a massive return in the WWE. What a return this is going to be. WWE is reportedly planning a high-profile match between Becky Lynch and the returning former champion, former Royal Rumble winner in her own right, the Hugger, Bayley. Becky Lynch, one-on-one for Revolution. Do you want to see that match? Will it be a hell of a contest? Becky Lynch said on this week's Raw that if she can't defeat Lyra for the Money in the Bank, then she'll never challenge for the women's title ever again. The women's intercontinental title ever again. So Becky Lynch might have a plan or two up her sleeve. The backstage reaction is being leaked and unveiled online. The backstage AEW reaction to Hangman Adam Page defeating Will Ospreay, according to Fightful Select. People backstage in All Elite Wrestling were shocked that after Hangman defeated Ospreay, but not in a bad way, as a lot of people expected Ospreay to win the match. Page's win marked his return to the main event title scene after a 2-year absence. What do you think about the main event scene in AEW? WWE is planning a legend versus legend match. And the legend versus legend attraction will happen at the all-women's show. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions on that. Saudi Arabia wants a WrestleMania, but it is still uncertain. Amid ongoing uncertainty, WrestleMania 42, as we already know, will no longer take place in New Orleans, as WWE flagship show is expected to take place in Las Vegas for the second consecutive year. Would you want to see a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia? Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, update on who will defeat Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. It would appear as if Joe Hendry, isn't going to win the TNA World title back from Williams. Mike Santana is expected to win the title from Williams at Slammiversary on July the 20th, so it will be a very short run for one Trick Williams as the TNA World Champion. Jordynne Grace was told to wrestle the WWE style after a scary incident could have impacted her entire career. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Also coming through the desk of the brash and the brazen, we are receiving word at this time, at this stage, that Mick Foley is shutting down a $2.88 million WWE ambassador rumor. WWE books the Great American Bash opposing and opposite AEW all in Texas, and WWE are considering asking fans not to swear at live TV events. Do you think the WWE should do away with that? Your thoughts, your comments, and your feelings on that, because if it weren't for you, there would be no Sean View. And will the WWE get more realistic? Will WWE go more Hollywood with angles and storylines? Will there be some sort of plots and shootings, of course, storylined or whatever, what have you, but will the WWE bring into death storylines like that, in-depth angles? Will WWE be taking a page out of Hollywood? Your thoughts, your comments, and will we see the evolution of angles and storylines in the WWE? This is your rating place to be. Do you think the WWE should adapt and use Hollywood-like storylines in the WWE? But how would you explain a wrestler's death if it was a shooting or a cop or there was a miscarriage or, I don't know. I mean, Hollywood has come up with some hellacious storylines and stories and plots. Is the plot going to thicken in the WWE? We're about to find out down the road. Subscribe, but plenty more to come from the Brash One.